Playing through Jedi Survivor has made me realize two things. One, this right here is peak Star Wars gaming, and two, LEGO really missed out big time once again by not making set space on this game. So in today's video, I'll be going over 10 Jedi Survivor set ideas. These 10 are in no particular order, but just as a heads up, this video will contain some pretty major spoilers for Jedi Survivor. So if you haven't played through the game yet and don't want to get spoiled, click off now, but make sure to come back once you're done. To start off the list, it'd be pretty fitting to have an Imperial Coruscant Police gunship set, considering how often this ship appears in the game, and we've also gotten a Republic version in the past. There's no reason LEGO couldn't make this. It's literally a palette swap with some Imperial logos. For minifigures, I'd go with a Purge Trooper since we see one pilot the ship in the opening of the game, Cal Kestis in his Jedi Survivor clothing with BD-1 and his dual lightsabers, Gabs in her Coruscant disguise, and the Ninth Sister as a big fig, which I'm not really sure if they would do since they would have to make a completely different Inquisitor lightsaber mold since, well, she's a big fig. Price wise, I put around 60 to 70 bucks as that what the price roughly comes to adjusted for inflation. This next set could go either way, with either Bravo's Headhunter or Bode's Headhunter. Well, sure, Bravo doesn't have a huge role in the grand scheme of things, but his Headhunter is pretty different compared to the standard one used in Clone Wars, which is also the same one Bode uses. Really, it's up in the air as to which LEGO would make. Minifigures would have to be Bravo and Bode in their Coruscant Guard disguises, Cal with BD-1, and maybe a Scout Trooper, since you do fight them before leaving Coruscant. Price wise, I'd say about 60 bucks, since that's roughly what the 2013 Headhunter would cost at retail in 2023 adjusted for inflation. Sticking with the opening of the game, Senator C. John's yacht would make a pretty good set, with its unique design and overall importance to the first hours of the game. Scaling for this set could be a playset or alternatively UCS style in the form of the UCS Razor Cross, so basically a big ass playset. Minifigures would have to be Cal, BD, Bravo, Bode, Gab, and the twins, all in their Coruscant Guard disguises. And of course, Senator C. John, a couple of Stormtroopers, and a couple of the 10 Imperial security droids introduced for this game. Pricing, I'd go at least over 150 bucks if we're going by this being a playset, and around 350 to 500 if we're talking about this being a UCS set. This next section is what I like to call the Battle Pack Lightning Round. First off, a Purge Trooper Battle Pack needs to happen. We've gotten Trooper Battle Packs exclusive to the games in the past, like the Old Republic Trooper Battle Packs or the EA Battlefront 2 Battle Pack. For variation, this Battle Pack could include one Trooper with a pauldron, one with the long singular staff, and two with smaller dual staffs. Alternatively, instead of a mid-terrain build, we get a DT Sentry Droid as the build, since these lads are massive and could work perfectly as a Weta Army build in Imperial Army. Plus, the Purge Troopers would be easy to make in LEGO since they just have to recolor the Airborne Trooper helmet. An Anchor Ice Battle Pack could work since they do engage in combat during the Jedi invasion. Of course, new molds for their masks would be great, but I can see LEGO cheapening out on this and making them prints. Weapons would be some staffs and blasters they briefly use at the end of the game, and the build of the set could either be some of the ruins seen throughout the desert, alternatively debris from the AT-STs or AT-ATs that Seer destroyed. A Stormtrooper Specialist Battle Pack would go hard, to be honest. Minifigures could be a Flame Trooper, two Jetpack Troopers, and a Riot Scout Trooper. Build could similarly be ruins from Jedi or debris from an Imperial ship, and like a speeder or something. A Bedlam Raiders Battle Pack would be fitting since they are the main enemies you fight in the game, alongside their reprogrammed battle droids. Again, for variation, you could have two Raiders with jetpacks and two without. Of course, their weapons would be the big spear trident things, and for a build, it could be some barricades from their bases on Kobo, and the Jada Red Packs would definitely need to be a new mold. Sticking with the Raiders, the Bedlam Raiders Droid Battle Pack would go hard. All LEGO would really need to do is add printing to the standard B1 battle droids and printing to the super battle droids, which we haven't seen the standard super battle droid in over a decade, so you already know LEGO would probably cheapen out and throw in 4 battle droids instead of 2 B1s and 2 super battle droids. Although alternatively, you could have 2 Raider Magna Guards and 2 Raider Commander droids. The build would probably be something similar to the standard Bedlam Raiders Battle Pack. Sticking with Kobo, Pyloon Saloon would make a perfect set. For scale, this could either be like the UCS Mos Eisley Cantina, or around the scale of the many Mos Eisley Cantina playsets released over the years. If we're going by UCS scale, minifigures would probably be Cal with his blaster and lightsaber stance, as well as BD-1, Bode, Grease, who could use the new Stitch forearm torso introduced this year, the bartender droid Z, although I'm not sure how her head would translate into LEGO, since it could look a bit oversized if not done right, Marin, Kaj, Scuva, and Crash, DDEC, that one pit droid in the tar area, Pilly, Toa, Targle, Doma, Mosey. Plus you could have Scuba's boat and Doma's shop as side builds on the outside of the bar. Price range I'd guess around 250 to 300 bucks for a UCS set, and around 40-ish for a playset. With LEGO making a Shock Trooper gunship this year, it gives me a little hope that we could get Ravis's gunship as a set in the future. It'd be essentially a clone gunship with a Bedlam Raiders color palette. But we haven't seen this ship too often in the game. That probably wouldn't deter LEGO from making this set because the Shock Trooper gunship has like 3 seconds of screen time total. There could also be a back-to-tank side build to recreate the scene when Dagan Gera gets awakened by Cal. Minifigures would be Cal with BD1, shirtless Dagan Gera, which I'm not sure how LEGO would do considering his missing arm. But then again, LEGO did recently introduced an amputee arm piece for mini dolls, so there's a chance they could make it this mold but for standard minifigures. Again, not sure how Ravis would translate into LEGO, given the fact he's an absolute unit, and 2 Bedlam Raiders to pilot the ship. The price of the set would probably be 150 bucks, although then again LEGO would probably up it to 160 to 170 because of the inclusion of a back-to-tank. The final Dagan Gera fight in the game was pretty raw and would go hard as a diorama set. The set could either be the round platform in Dagan's observatory on Kobo, alternatively the ceiling, which could be a unique looking set, or who knows, LEGO could do a set like this in a similar way to the dual sets from 2019 to 2021, but a diorama would be better. Minifigures would have to be Cal with the longer crossguard lightsaber, BD1, Bode, and of course Dagan Gera in his High Republic robes with his badass force arm he gets and whited out eyes as a face print to match the burst of power he gets during the fight, along with his upgraded double-bladed lightsaber and Centauri Kree, since she technically did appear, albeit as a force-induced hallucination. Price range would be around 50 bucks, but let's be honest, LEGO would find a way to make this 100 bucks. Following up with more endgame content, Bo's betrayal and Jedi could make another great diorama set. The set design would be similar to the Endor speeder chase diorama, but with the speeder chase throughout the desert instead, but obviously ruins instead of trees. To make up for how flat the set would be, there could be 4 speeder bikes attached to action pose pieces, with 2 speeders piloted by scout troopers, one for Bode and one for Cal, with a way to attach BD1 to his back. You could also include Bode's lightsaber in the set as an addition. Pricing shouldn't be 80 bucks, but LEGO would probably again upcharge to that price. Personally, I'd go for around 50 to maybe 60 bucks. Seer vs Darth Vader was probably the most unexpected fight in the game, and would make an extraordinary diorama set. The set would be the pit within the Jedi archives, with the hollow bookshelves raised above the pit. There could even be one shelf smashed in the floor, like halfway through the fight. The only main figures needed for the set would be Seer and Darth Vader, who could be partially burning like in game, as a cool exclusive minifigure for the set. For once, this set being a price around 80 bucks would be fair. And finally, the set we need the most by a mile is either a UCS Mantis in a similar scale to the UCS Razor Crest, or a playset Mantis. The minifigures could represent the main characters from both games, kind of like how the UCS Millennium Falcon had minifigures from both Empire Strikes Back and The Force Awakens. Jedi Fallen Order minifigures would be Cal, Grease, Seer, Marin, BD1, Trilla, Prof, and maybe Tar and Malchus as a neat bonus. Jedi Survivor would be the Mantis crew plus Bode, Kata, Z, the Scavenger droid, and maybe Cal in his ISB disguise as a bonus, but 3 Cal minifigures might be a bit much. In fact, he'd probably end up being a polybag, which could make a cool May of the 4th bonus, but let's be real, LEGO wouldn't do that. Price range would be around 350 to 500 bucks, although being on the cheaper side would be nice. And with that, those are just some ideas I had for sets based on Jedi Survivor. It's a shame LEGO decided not to make sets this year for the game, since they did say they wouldn't make Jedi Fallen Order sets because of the age rating and violence in the game, which isn't that bad, and also got overridden when we got a BD1 set, so who knows, maybe we could get more sets in the future, especially since Jedi Survivor, at least in Europe, has a lower age rating than Jedi Fallen Order, which is weird since it's more violent, but who cares. Please, LEGO, for the love of God, give us sets.